Currently tied up at 1 each. We've seen a lot of Hellbats in these first 2 games. What will we see in game number 3? Probably more of the same. Probably more of the same, Kev.
We will see. Belshire Vestige is a pretty sort of long map in a way that it takes a little while. So I don't think we're going to see similar style from Beastie as we saw in game number 2. It's probably going to be much more similar to what we saw on Daybreak. Frodan often says that he thinks that Belshire Vestige is just like Daybreak turned upside down. And then it's like there are more ways to move around in the sides, which to some degree is a little bit true.
Yeah, that's not an inaccurate statement. It's like a marriage of Daybreak and Ohana.
Just missing one base over here, which would randomly be in the middle.
It's kind of been pushed down to the side, I guess.
Yeah, because there's normally only one base in the middle.
The center is just so narrow. I really, I hate playing in the middle of this map because I feel like it's almost impossible ever to get a really good engagement as the Zerg player. But of course, we see the great Zergs always finding a way. We've got Stefano here. We'll ask him about it. He's like, oh, I love these map. It is my favorite map.
Elias will always say whatever pisses you off the most.
Yeah.
Like he will never say
so direct with it.
What he really thinks about it. He will just say what you don't want to hear because he likes that. And then he looks at you and he starts grinning. You are just terrible.
Never ever feel like, hey, Stefano, watch me play this game and then give me some advice because you're going to turn around. And he's like, what do you think, Elias? Oh, I thought you were great.
Yes.
You were just great. Good job. And he's just like, damn it, Stefano.
Dude, when I heard that Elias was going to visit us here a little bit as well, I said like, oh, cool, I've been practicing a lot, Elias, so we can play a couple of games. He's like, oh, I am very excited. The last time I saw you play, it was simply magnificent. I was like, oh my god, I hate you. Biggest troll in the
Sarcastic little
punk
jerk.
Scouts have died on either side. Beasties once more going to drop a pretty quick starport. Seems like you can see a little bit of a different place over here from Diestar. Diestar is going to get the reactors, so he's going to switch up with the factory. And I guess eventually we're going to see armory as well. Actually, BC is dropping the armory now already, before Diestar does. Diestar does have the quicker expand. That's one thing to hold on to.
But in game number 1, it was Beastie with the quicker expand and the slower drops, and it was Beastie who found himself critically crippled by the crushing
pressure.
I'm trying to find more C words. Crushing. I got nothing.
We will see how it unfolds. Obviously, a big game for both of these guys. As we said several times, BC had really decent runs in day 1 and 2. And obviously, I think as a player who belongs in the European WCS, he's been very successful for quite a while. He's made an appearance in quite a few of the Intel Extreme Master tournaments. Same can be said to Diestar, but I certainly think if you look at 2012 as a whole, to a lesser degree.
Yeah.
Diestar was a little bit of a bigger name, I think, in 2011.
But to be fair, neither of these guys really has that one big win to their credit. Like, and they're both good enough to have had that.
But if you look at like the online tournament results of BC,
that's
he
so
has
true.
won around like 40. Literally.
So many, like Go for SE2s and Zotacs
and Playhams and other weird cops that no one has ever heard about. But suddenly he gets $7,000 on a PC from China.
What the hell is the Badagery Shangzhou Cup? Oh, you don't know? Once every 3rd week in the month of April.
No one on Earth knew about this little tournament besides Beastie and a bunch of Chinese players who got WC.
Beastie beat Jim in the finals?
No, that wasn't Jim. That would have never happened, Ben. Stop spreading lies.
Okay, he got 2nd place.
Maybe Beastie is like the reason why Jim and Maxed are so good right now, because they saw this Serbian dude winning their local tournament, so they're like, you know what?
For the honor of our nation, we must
start practicing, and then they are having like 90% win ratio on North American ladders.
All right, here comes the double Hellbat drop. It's going to go straight to the main.
I mean, Diestar is sort of well prepared. The Widow Mines are going to be so important.
He's just going to drop right on top of him.
Everything. He's like, I got 4 Hellbats. What do you have? Oh, there's one more Widow Mine here.
Oh,
massive shots.
Widow Mine.
But still, Diestar's taking quite some. Well, actually, didn't lose any SUVs yet. He lost 1 SUV so far.
Lost a lot of units, though. He's going to clean this up.
Oh, man, there's one Widow Mine over here focusing the right Hellbat. If he would focus the low HP one, he would have been in quite some trouble because all the SUVs would have nowhere to run. Then again, this was probably just like wave 1, and I'm sure that wave 2 is
Still reasonable damage from Beastie. Caused a lot of lost mining time. He's getting his expansion up. Supplies are still very even.
But he's gonna have to do better next time, and it's actually gonna be harder because I think there will be maybe even be one more with a mine, or at least in a better position.
He did kill so many units though. There's only 2 Marines left. There are Vikings. There are a couple of Hellions, but
Widow mines are great though.
Widow mines are phenomenal.
Like
they're
Widow
phenomenal when they connect, and then there's something there to follow it. But
that's true, but there are the Vikings right now to take care of the Hellbats. So as long as the Hellbats go on low HP, the Vikings will take care of the medevacs, which means obviously the Hellbats won't heal up.
I don't think this is the angle Beastie wants to enter from. It's very covered by the Vikings. Here come the
Widow mines as well.
Actually, the Widow mine targeted the medevac.
Everything on the ground just died.
Untouched. And everything on the ground just dies.
Oh, the SCVs. One, Widow mine.
And again,
it's well done by Diestar. Again,
is that the same all-star Widow mine? No.
Again, he just like loses a lot of mining time, but he somehow keeps all his SCVs alive. He's only lost 1 SCV against 8 Hellbats in his base.
That's pretty incredible.
That's worth a nominee.
I gotta say, I think his understanding of how to defend this is pretty solid. He's just blanketing his base with the mines and using the Vikings to clean up.
This is like all that the European Terrans do these days. Fuser was complaining about it a lot, and if you watch any of the European Terrans stream, even though not many of them stream these days, BC still streams a little bit, Cass streams every now and then. You will see this most of the time. Sometimes Lucifron streams, which is like a...
They're all pretty protective of their play. I guess you have to be in preparation for this. This is the event, man. Like, you do not want to be excluded.
Yeah, streaming is awesome, but it also gives away so much. Like, there are like, for instance, if you look at the Muslims play right now, there's literally like 100 hours of footage of his gameplay in the last week that people could potentially study.
Look at the first change Coach Park made. Okay, guys, you can stream. It's just gonna have to be your off races.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Teja streaming Protoss. Really did Coach
Yeah.
Park. Coach Park is such a badass. I love Coach Park. But I mean, it does make sense.
It does. It makes perfect sense. Certainly at that level, when you know in Pro League specifically, you have people preparing just for, that one match.
I mean, we spoke about this back in the days. Like, as a Warcraft 3 player, everyone was always so paranoid about like gathering replays and trying to study your opponents and really making sure your replays won't leak. And then like here in Starcraft 2, while the prize money got so much bigger, it is just like, all right, let me just stream 100 hours of ladder and enjoy.
Well,
and be surprised when you get hard counted in tournaments.
To be fair, though, that stream revenue does
add up.
It does add up.
Yes.
It definitely does add up. And that's a revenue stream that players have never had before, too.
Oh, of course, it has like plus sides and downsides.
Like, you got 100 hours of the Muslim gameplay, but the Muslim's cashing checks, son.
The Muslim doesn't need to win a tournament. He's clicking that
Why would I
commercial
play
button.
WCS? I make more by streaming one week.
No, I don't think it's that great yet. We will see. During all this, BC did take a nice worker lead, though. He's on 49 right now against 42. That's reasonable. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yep, pretty close still. Income-wise, Beastie's finally managed to kill a couple of SCVs, 6 in total. On the army supply side, it's very close, 49 army supply to 42 army supply. So this is still anybody's game. No one having inflicted any real amount of damage. Diestar hasn't even tried to harass Beastie this game.
Nope. Figured that he needed all units at home. He is, for the first time at least, going to challenge him a little bit for some map control. As 2 Hellbats are going to wiggle their way down to this first Delnaga Watchtower. BC is gearing up for once more. Nice little actually, I thought this was a second medevac, it was just an SCV. He's going to build a supply depot. Yep.
Intelligent building placement by Beastie. He just wants to spot those drops when they do start coming.
This third command center is orbiter is a lot quicker for BC though. He's already up 9 workers. This orbital is going to be a lot quicker as well. It really seems like just being the aggressive Hellbat player seems to be so awesome, because Hellbats at the end of the day are pretty damn cheap, so you can just throw them at your opponents all the time. And I really thought it was impeccable defense of what we saw of Diestar, not losing a... Well, he lost a single SCV. Later on, he lost a few more over here in the natural. But
look at this spotter depot.
He barely lost anything, but still, he lost so much mining time that it was still worth it.
And Beastie dropping the main base of Diestar right now as Diestar floats medevacs over buildings that Beastie's placed on the map to spot. So Beastie, well aware of the incoming drops, shuts down the one in the main base with just turrets. There is one making its way into his natural, and he doesn't seem to be reacting to it.
Well, there's a little Thor there, though, and the Thor will clean up these Hellbats.
That is not a little Thor. That is a very large Thor.
Diestar was too focused on dealing with the Hellbats in his main, I think. I don't think he lost too many. He lost 4 additional SUVs, but his drop did absolutely nothing. By this time, you could say the BC is pretty well prepared.
Yeah.
It's like the Serbian version of Fort Knox. Just there's no gold.
Thor
SUVs.
is like a battle hellion that ate a marauder.
Imagine if Thors could stim.
That'd be so cool.
Imagine like Thors running across the map, landing on
like
their belly. Lol.
That's he just changed to the single shot mode. Anyway, but neither player really taking out or getting too aggressive on the map right now. Both guys just sort of controlling their respective sides of the map, both pushing out, taking their Zelnaga towers in sight of one another.
So it's a single shot air, right?
Honestly, Kevin, I don't know exactly how it works. I think so. I think it changes from the splash to the one big nuke attack. But I haven't played with it. And I certainly haven't played against it.
Seems reasonable against Void Rays, but I'm not really sure.
I think it's supposed to be pretty good against Broodlords. But
yes,
I just don't make Broodlords anymore.
But I've seen it a few times, and I wasn't like blown away. Like it was not bad, but it was also not amazing. There we go. See it as well.
Looks
then again,
cool. It's like a big gun shooting.
The old Javelins were also not very good against Broodlords. BC just like slowly but steady getting some map control, knows that he's in fantastic positions, or in a fantastic position. Obviously these Hellbats won't mount a whole lot. But BC just slowly but steady expanding, just sitting on his economic lead. Obviously there's no need for him to take a silly fight and run into tank range from Diestar. As
it's still very close, man. Like nobody is actually. I mean,
BC is pretty far ahead. He has +2 mech already. +3 is on the way.
That's true. He does have the upgrade
complete map
advantage.
control. He has more workers, and he has a 4th base in the near future. He also has an insane amount of turrets, so dropping him is a pretty bad idea.
But at the same time, TVT just reaches this point when you get to 3 base, 4 base, where it's not about who has more money. It's about positioning, and often can just end with one fight. So the chess match is basically commenced.
I have a hard time imagining BC throwing away this lead, though. He's going to drop a couple of Hellbats once more, just wants to kill a few SUVs. And Diestar has been reacting to these drops extremely well, though. And BC has killed 17 workers throughout the entire game, but you guys shouldn't forget it's been in like at least 12 Hellbats, maybe even 14 that he has thrown at Diestar. So that's almost 1 Hellbat per SUV. So despite Diestar defending really well, I'm actually taking a small supply lead right now for the first time in this game. And let's take a look at the unit compositions, man. We have 3 Thors in the army for BC, and we have 16 tanks, 8 Hellbats against 7 Vikings. So what basically, what this means as well is that BC is going to have to scan an insane amount to keep track on his army. This siege tank laughs in the face of danger.
That is the bravest siege tank I've ever seen.
It's just going to siege up right now.
It's like Tokyo Drift siege tank, just power sliding through there. Here comes the big fight. BC is going to siege up on the high ground. Diestar is kind of in an awkward position. He's sort of stuck down there.
Well, I kind of like the position that he had, though. Yes, this one siege tank is going to be annoying. I think right now he can just unsiege. At least he's slowing down BC's mining over here from the fort. Oh, BC's going to flank. Thanks.
I don't think Diestar is ever going to be able to get out of there, Kevin. He's stuck. BC has him trapped. That is all of Diestar's army, and it is not going anywhere.
Well, Diestar has a small little army on the right side as well.
Maybe if he can push and force BC to reposition, he can get those other units out. That said, BC doesn't really have the means to like walk forward and engage that.
I mean, this is pretty annoying for BC. As soon as he crushes this army, he's going to be in good shape again. But so far, this little exchange has been good for Diestar. Pretty impressed with how he handled that. +3 is ready for BC, while it's only +1 for Diestar.
Macro? He's down 30 supply all of a sudden.
Yeah, because he's not mining from the 4th base, and he threw away more Hellbats as well. And like BC lost units here. But now he also set it up in a way that he's absolutely going to crush his army. Huh? What happened there?
Oh, if he doesn't do it soon, he's going to be in a really awkward position because Diestar's pushing down the right side of the map.
He's going to probably siege up in his natural or something.
And
like this is annoying as well for BC. BC does not have any air control. BC is going to have to siege up over here. I guess he will be fine focusing down most of these siege tanks. Just a couple of Hellbats remain and 1 siege tank, but that's not too bad.
These Hellbats are dangerous, though. They could do a lot of damage to his economy. Diestar is going to push in and clean out this entire natural. Beasty's going to lose so many SCVs, not even going to bother pulling them. Painful losses there. 170 supply against 150. Diestar well ahead. Beasty is going to go ahead and move in now, finally opting to attack and crush this army, and when he cleans it up as the dust
But it took so
settles.
long that it wasn't really a favorable engagement anymore. Right now, Beasty has way more army supply. It's 101 against 65. He also still has that upgrade advantage, as he's 3-1 right now on mech units. I believe Diestar is just 2-0. Yeah.
46 SCVs to 80. You really have to start to wonder if Diestar hasn't maybe overmade a few too many SCVs.
I definitely think. I mean, he's been treating them like his little children, and he's been doing a very good job with that. But right now, he has a few too many of them. Same goes for children, man. They get really expensive if you have too many of them. Just wanted to get rid of a few.
I saw a funny picture on Reddit the other day. It's like, I'm 40 and I have no kids. So much money for activities. It's funny.
First world problems. Diestar's going to siege up. Beasty has to be so careful. He has way better upgrades, but it doesn't mean that you can just run into siege lines. Both players getting sensor towers up now as well. And I mean, I don't think Beasty mind too much that he lost those SCVs, Ben. He has quite a few orbitals, to say the least. One thing that I'm still a little bit surprised by is that he's never challenging Diestar for that air control. Like, he's just like, all right, I'm gonna have to scan in fights. That's the way it is. You can have Vikings, which also means that I will have more army on the ground, of course.
Oh, Beasty with a little bit of shuttle play is going to go ahead and harass this fourth base of Diestar, trying to deal a little bit of damage back the other way. He's actually targeting the planetary instead of the SCVs.
Or those tanks. Vikings landing in between those tanks as well. Very nice play here by Diestar. This didn't really work out for Beasty. He's going to lose 4 siege tanks.
Yeah, it doesn't really get much for not much return on that investment. Although I do like that he targeted the planetary and not the workers, because that would have just given Diestar more supply for army.
Yeah, but I don't think Beasty knows that.
Maybe not.
I mean, I doubt that Beasty is like, he's probably around 80 SCVs right now. Let's keep him that way.
You never know with Beasty. He's a very smart player.
He is. Sometimes Beasty is also smarter than he realizes.
Sometimes he also thinks he's smarter than he actually is.
Yeah. Way more. Well, we do love Beasty. But Beasty is actually in a little bit of trouble, man. As Sloibert said, I really feel that Diestar is increasing his position out on the map. He's mining off 4 bases really comfortable, and he's also pushing Beasty back. Now, of course, eventually Diestar can only catch up in upgrades, because Beasty is pretty much, well, almost done.
He's maxed out.
Those Hellbats, they are so good in soaking up shots from tanks.
Yeah, they really.
Jesus.
They take so much damage.
I wish my Stalkers would soak up that much damage.
If only they weren't armored.
Yeah, that makes no sense, right? It's like, let me give you an armor so you can die much quicker. It's like, well, maybe I don't want the freaking armor then. Stupid Protoss president of IU. Like, I love the logic in video games. Here's your armor so you take extra damage. It's like, well, can't I just drop it? No.
Finally, Beasty clears off that high ground. Tons of scans going down left and right. Supply-wise, we're getting pretty close to even, 185 to 193. And Beasty still, you know, with 30 workers less, means he does have a stronger standing army if he can get a good engagement. If he can get a good engagement.
And he still has better upgrades soon. He has at least 1 armor upgrade advantage. He's going to have 2 armor soon. But we all know that, like, ooh. Sometimes these tank shots are so random. It feels like a tank. Like, it's just sitting there. It's like, all right. Whoa. Couldn't you have done that 20 seconds ago? Diestar is trying to make something happen over here on the left side of the map, but Beasty has a pretty good position with 2 tanks on the high ground. I think Diestar...
If he scans, he just kills those tanks.
Yeah, but he's not scanning.
There's the scan.
Okay, just in time.
And there's the dead tanks. Immediately dying. Beasty's going to reposition, dropping all over these tanks. This could be the fight that Beasty needs. He's going to clean up everything here.
Pretty sick fight by Beasty. Magnificent fight. Even dropping a Tor on top of those tanks. Running in with all the Hellbats as well. Taking a look at the units lost resource tab, we can see that Diestar has lost 4,000 more. Diestar is active on the right side of the map as well, though, but Beasty is so well prepared.
Very dangerous attack here from Diestar, just moving forward, and there are so many tanks waiting. And Beasty is going to clean up all of this. Diestar making perhaps a critical mistake. Goes down 160 supply to 190. But look at the army supplies, Kevin.
For all the good things that Diestar did in the previous 6 to 8 minutes, everything just got undone. Look at this.
Oh, no.
I love it when Tors get picked up.
It's the Golden Armada. Here comes Beasty with everything. Widowmine will focus the empty medevac. And Beasty has just unloaded a hit squad in the main base of Diestar. Big trouble in Diestar's main is
the Tor!
Beasty going right after the production lock.
This is so awesome. These helmets are gonna have a pretty tough time engaging this as well, as they kind of have to like wiggle through. More tanks dying for Diestar. The tank, I won't say the Tor did a great job absorbing damage, but then it just died immediately.
Did you see the meme on Reddit of the medevac holding a Thor saying to a Phoenix, bro, do you even lift?
Yeah, I saw it. That's awesome.
Medevacs are so strong.
Look at Diestar, he's still producing SCVs. He's on 94 right now.
Yeah, he's definitely overdoing it at this point. Beasty with a dangerous position, driving a wedge between Diestar and his 4th base.
Really excellent TVT here, really quite back and forth as well. Beasty with an early lead after doing quite some damage in an indirect way, just forcing a lot of lost mining time. Then Diestar just playing excellent and really taking some good fights.
Babysitting these workers. He's got 48 SCVs hiding behind the mineral line over here. And finally, Beasty's going to go and claim his prize. I've been trying to do this all game.
One little Hellbat fighting a tank over here. That's a pretty cool fight. Alright, here we go. Look at this Hellbat. He's like, yeah! This is what I was trained to do. Terrible thing to see, Hellbat.
When I was a kid, I always used to want to get a flamethrower and shoot mosquitoes with it.
I always thought it was awesome. Diestar tried to make something happen on the left side, but knows that he was just too far behind.
Beasty does it. Avenge his fuser.
Still alive.